Welcome back. It's still the AM show with me, Sweetie Abochi. Now, we told you that tomorrow, over 200,000 NPP delegates will go to the polls to vote for their parliamentary aspirants ahead of the December 2024 elections. We've been joined by the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Mr. Haruna Mohammed. Mr. Haruna Mohammed, if you can hear me, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Sweetie.
Right. So tomorrow, over 200,000 delegates are going to the polls. What does preparation look like so far?
First and foremost, I say good morning to your cherished viewership and the entire multimedia team. Tomorrow is set for the elections for the new patriotic party to elect representatives for the sitting members of parliament for the 2024 general elections. All preparations have been set. The EC has taken charge of all electoral materials. The security agencies have done their stimulation and made sure all voting centers are being secured. We have also deployed membership in terms of representation from regional level to national level to all regions and various constituencies that these elections will be taking place. We have had all stakeholder discussions, and we have made sure that everything is online, and we are very hopeful of a fruitful elections tomorrow.
What I want to find out from you now is, what are the key areas of interest for the party and strategies to secure those seats? Because in 2020, you tied with the NDC, but for the intervention of the independent candidates, you would not be in majority right now. So what are the key areas of interest, and what are your strategies to win those seats back?
Every constituency is a key area of target. We will never mind even if you go ahead to the elections and we are able to win all the 275 constituencies. And for us, we are targeting every seat. And I believe that at the end of the day, we'll be able to carry the day and make sure that we have majority of the seats in Parliament, just as we had in 2016. So
how many aspirants have been qualified so far? We know that about 11 of them were disqualified. So what's the total number of aspirants going to the polls tomorrow?
17 aspirants were disqualified, 33 were going unopposed, and then 323 aspirants were going into the elections. We have had in Sawan one person stepping down, and we also had that of Afiapin staff, also one person also stepped down. But the party took a decision based on requests from the various from the constituency and the region to postpone the elections for Akwapim staff. So in this particular scenario, you see that out of the 323 that were going on contest, one went down, leaving 321. Then one also went down, leaving, and then we also stepped down the entire. So 3 have gone down and it's left with 320 that is going for this particular elections.
So give us a
however, elections in the central region, one of the constituencies is also being stepped down because of court process.
What time does voting start tomorrow?
Voting starts at 7 a.m., exactly 7 a.m. and closes at 2 p.m.
Okay. We know that the General Secretary, Justin Kodia, gave a rundown of what's the protocol to be followed for tomorrow. It includes that no pugilists would be allowed on the premises. Security is solely handled by the Ghana Police Service. Could you give us a rundown or a summary of what the protocol is for tomorrow?
Yes, the protocols has run down by the General Secretary. I believe that has been very, very expressly, and I think that people have taken very serious key of that. One of those is that we are making sure that the Electoral Commission is the only body that is going to take charge in terms of the conduct of the elections. The security agencies are the only, the police are the only body that is going to take charge in terms of security situations in the polling process. The National Executive Committee also has appointed some members from the national level to beef up the monitoring, and also instructed the regions to also appoint persons for the various constituencies for the conduct of the elections. We also, part of the protocol, indicate that there's not going to be camping, which is a very serious issue that the National Party is looking at. There wouldn't be any camping of delegates at a particular place. Also, serious of concern is voting in the polling booth with your electronic gadgets, i.e., that is using of phones, will not be allowed. Anybody that is going to vote must leave his or her phone before he gets to the polling booth. Places that are more than 1,000, the EC would be able to look at it and then have more polling booths to be able to accommodate all these particular processes. We have also said that people that are allowed into the voting center, that is the inner parameters, has been clearly defined, and anybody that has voted must take the queue to go back to the house and make sure that you sit and wait for the declaration of the results. The protocols are many, but these are some of the key ones that I would want us to look at. And also, there will not be proxy voting. Proxy voting has not been catered for, and then we are not going to also allow that. Display of ballots is not going to be accepted. Once the ballot is displayed, that ballot will be nullified per the rules of the game as issued by the General Secretary of the party. There's not going to be accreditation for everybody. Accreditation will only be given to candidates and their agents, because they are the only people that will stay at the center till the close of the voting process. The rest of the people who are going to vote must be identified by their national IDs, and that is what has been put in place. Ballot papers should not be torn from any booklet in advance. It should be torn at the time the voter is before the Electoral Commission officer who is in charge of that particular exercise. So all these things are things that the Electoral Commission has taken, and they have been able to sieve out areas that concerns Electoral Commission, and the security agencies have also sieved out areas that concern security, and they have taken cue from that and will implement the same thing as we start polling from tomorrow at 7 a.m.
So how many constituencies have been ruled out or are not voting tomorrow, and what arrangements have been made for them?
Yes, originally we have 137 constituencies that we are going into for the elections. 2 has been stepped down, and the rest of the constituencies are going on. So it means that 135 constituencies are going ahead to conduct the elections. These constituencies I've already mentioned, that is the Akwatim South constituency, and then where Cynthia Morrison is contesting in Central Region. I forgot the name of the constituency, but one constituency from Central Region. So we have 2 constituencies that has been stepped down.
Okay, so one of the items on the protocol that we saw is that one polling station for each constituency, except in a special case. Are there any such special cases? Yes,
that particular place meant that there are some polling centers or constituencies that voters are close to 2,000. For example, that is Domiko Abenya. Domiko Abenya has about 1,800 plus voters. And then there is Anya Sochum. We have about 1,500 voters. So that with those particular centers, the Electoral Commission will take the decision to either increase voting, that is voting centers, that is polling centers, that is the booth, the number of booths that will be used to cast the vote, or set up another polling station within the same polling station. So it is the decision of the Electoral Commission to look at the number of people that is going to turn up for voting and decide. And that is where we have said that it is when it is special cases. So there are other constituencies that the number is more than 1,000. So the Electoral Commission will also look at it and make sure that in a special instance that they increase the polling booth, or they take a decision that will be right for the electoral process to be smooth, and make sure that we are able to close polling at 2 p.m.
So how are you handling the verification of voters tomorrow?
For voting, it's going to be walk-in. It's not going to be like a conference. You come, speeches are being delivered, and here and there. Once you get up, you walk in, you go straight, you identify, you are given your ballot paper, you go and vote, you cast, and then you leave the place. So as for identification, is going to be by national ID. Any of the national IDs will be used. Your party ID card can be used. Your name and picture is on the album. So once it's collected by the EC, they verify that you are the person, and then you are being allowed to go and vote. And these delegates are known persons. We have 5 executives from each polling station, 1 electoral area coordinator, constituency executive committee, and then council of elders and council of patrons. These are known people of our party, and I don't believe that people can impersonate them as they go to vote. And we will stay strictly to those particular guidelines and rules as pertaining the document signed by my boss, Lawyer Justin Kodia Frimpong.
All right, thank you so much. Any final words before I let you go?
My final word to the people is that I want to urge everybody that this is a contest of ideas. We are not going to war. We are going to select people who will be representing our party. From today onwards, as we conclude by tomorrow, there will not be any side of candidature again. There will only be a candidate for the New Patriotic Party. And all of us should be very mindful of our conduct, our attitude, and what we say, that we are going to make sure that we lead to see the vision of the New Patriotic Party to break the 8 in 2024. And these are the men and women that we are going ahead to select to complement the number of the open constituencies we have done so far. We live to see, and we want to make sure that we have majority of the seats in the 9th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haruna Mohammed, who's the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. But still on the NPP's parliamentary primaries tomorrow, we have Nana Boakye Adum, who is a Ashanti Regional correspondent on the line. He joins us via Zoom. Nana Boakye, if you can hear me, what's preparation looking like in the Ashanti region ahead of tomorrow's elections?
Well, Suti, the Ashanti region is poised for this exercise. You know that this is the party's stronghold when it comes to and the number of parliamentary candidates the party has in parliament. So for the atmosphere and the preparation, it looks quite charged, and delegates as well as the aspirants are poised for tomorrow's exercise. I must say that there are over 120 aspirants who are seeking to become members of parliament on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party ahead of the December 7th general elections. And so we have 41 constituencies in the Ashanti region where voting will be taking place. The NPP originally has 43 constituencies in their hold, but then 2 constituencies, i.e. Fomena and then Kumewu, would not be partaking in tomorrow's exercise. Kumewu because they went for the by-election not long ago, where NSP won that election. And so for some strategic reasons, the party says they would not have Kumewu's constituency election, for the parliamentary exercise. And also for Fomena, the party will not be having the parliamentary primaries at Fomena because of the independent candidacy of the second deputy speaker of parliament. And so for some strategic reasons, the party has also put Fomena on hold. So aside from Fomena and then Kumewu, 41 constituencies in the Ashanti region will be partaking in tomorrow's parliamentary exercise. So generally, over 120 aspirants are expected to go through tomorrow's process. There are no challenges whatsoever, but then the region is poised for this exercise.
Do you have any updates from the regional representatives who are supposed to head the elections tomorrow in the region?
Well, for the Ashanti Regional Executive Body, they are fully prepared. We spoke to the executive body this morning ahead of this whole conversation. And for them, everything is intact. For security, it is left into the hands of the Ghana Police Service. Polling centers have been declared, and so aspirants have to take note of their polling centers or voting centers. And so every material that is needed for tomorrow's exercise, we are being told is ready and is in the region. And so every other thing that is expected of aspirants and the regional executive body would be put in place to make sure that the exercise is fruitful and peaceful tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Nana Boakye Adum, who is our Ashanti Regional correspondent. We also have Rafik Salam from the Upper West region. Rafik, what are the key areas to look out for in tomorrow's election in your region?
The Upper West region here, we have 3 constituencies where we have 3 sitting members of parliament. But elections will be held in 1 constituency which is the Sisala East constituency. We have the Interior Minister, Honorable Ambrose Derry, going unopposed following the disqualification of Alois Bol. And then also we have the incumbent member of parliament for Lambusi, Dr. Brad Baligi, who is also going unopposed. And so the contest will take place in the Sisala East constituency between the incumbent member of parliament and also Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Aidoo Chinye Isaku. He will pitch his strength against a lecturer from the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Tebuntie Zato Joshua. And so the information that we have gotten from the Sisala East constituency, campaigning is still going on ahead of the polls tomorrow, and it's really peaceful in the Sisala East constituency. So that is the only constituency that we are looking ahead tomorrow. But there are two, Lamuse and also Nandom. There will be popular acclamation in those constituencies.
So arrangements are ready, voting ballots, everything is ready for tomorrow?
For now, the information that we have gathered from the office of the Upper Regional NPP, branch of the NPP, and also from the EC, that they are really ready for tomorrow's election. And so all the candidates are campaigning vigorously, seriously for the elections. And, we are also having allegations of the candidates also that they are at least trying to allegedly bribing, trying to give some kind of freebies to the delegates, and then which is really a worry to the people of the Sisala East constituency. Many people are of the opinion that there are some schools in the constituency that school feeding, the schools are not being cooked for, and so they will have preferred that these monies that are given to the delegates be given to the schools so that to enable them to cook. And also they also have the West, one of the West Road network in the region. They think that these issues could have been fixed rather than talking about issues of doling out or dangling freebies on the delegates. For now, the party's battle is ready for tomorrow's election, Saturday at 2.
Thank you so much, Rafik Salam. Now let's shift our attention to the Eastern region, where we have Maxwell Kudu, who is also our correspondent. Maxwell, what are preparations for tomorrow in your region?
Well, competitive elections would take place in 19 constituencies out of the 25 constituencies where the NPP have sitting members of parliament. 19 because the Achim Oda constituency, Abitifi constituency, Upper West Achim constituency, and the new Gabin South constituency have no contest. There is going to be acclamation on a later date for this constituency. The Ekwapim and North constituency has already done their primaries months ago, and then also the Ekwapim South constituency, as we know, has been put on hold following some recommendation by the constituency and the regional executive. The issue in the Ekwapim South constituency has to do with the municipal chief executive who filed a conditional nomination that in case that the member of parliament do not contest, he would contest. So we know that just this week, the member of parliament, Mr. Obi Amoako, pulled out from the election. So there has been consultation among stakeholders in the constituency and the region as to whether or not the conditional nomination put forward by the MCE should be considered. So that constituency, there is not going to be election. Apart from that, the 19th constituency has over 72 candidates battling to represent the party in the 2024 election. There are some one or two constituencies that people classify it as a lookout for constituency. That is the Insaum Adwoji constituency, where the majority chief whip, Mr. Frank Anodompre, is the member of parliament, and then also the New Gabin North constituency, where the Eastern Regional Minister is also facing a fierce contest. In the Nsaom Adwoji constituency, there are two other candidates who showed up to contest the sitting member of Parliament, Mr. Frank Adum. But this week, we had information that there's the second candidate, Mr. David Aidoo Jr., resigned from the contest, leaving Mr. Frank Adum in a one-on-one battle with Hayford Siam. That constituency is going to be a very hot constituency. You recall that some few weeks ago, there were a series of press conferences and other agitations wanting the member of parliament to go unopposed, and there are other people who were also prevented from taking form. So all eyes are on the Nisaoma Droji constituency. There are varied interests. The people are willing, some section of people are willing to unseat the member of parliament, Mr. Adum. Why is he also aggressive to maintain the gains that he has made over the period? There's one other constituency that is very key. People classify that constituency as the rare showdown. That is the New Jabe North constituency. In the New Jabe North constituency, there are about 5 people battling for the position. It's been classified as a showdown constituency because of the involvement of the Eastern Regional Minister, Mr. Seth Kwame Achampong, who is also a former member of parliament from Prayesu constituency. The politics is that it is perceived that the Mr. Hackman, also Ajima, and his team are heavily in support of Mr. Seth Kwame Achampong, and Mr. Brian Achampong, who is also one powerful bloc in the region, is also supporting the candidature of one Nana Osei Eji. And then also there is one other contender who we are told works with the Ghana Embassy in Germany, Mr. Joseph Osei Jabal. He also has support from other people in the party. There are other candidates, including Mr. Philip Chum Yeboah, who is a businessman, and then also Samson Kwesi Ano, who has also contested. He is a brother of the former regional chairman of the NPP, Mr. Samuel Yao Ano. So this constituency has been one of the tightest constituencies. That is where the proper showdown that we talk about is going to happen. So basically 19 constituencies facing fierce election. I had a conversation not too long ago with the Director of Communication, Mr. Yeboah, and he tells me that ballot papers and all electoral materials has been dispatched from the regional EC to all the district offices of the Electoral Commission, waiting tomorrow at exactly 7 to commence the election. There were few issues in the Asane Manso Akroso constituency. That's the AMA. The issue has to do with the venue for the election. Initially, the party decided to hold the election at Achim Batabi. However, some people who are perceived to be the supporters of the major contender, Mr. Ales, opposed to the venue in Achim Batabi. There were confrontations leading to the arrest of some people, but the party intervened and moved the venue from Achim Batabi back to Achim Akroso. So how do you call it? Peace has been restored in that constituency as we speak now.
So have you met any of the delegates, and what's the general mood ahead for tomorrow among the delegates themselves?
Well, it appears that everybody, not so many of the delegates, are showing open support for the various candidates. You know, mostly when it comes to election of this nature, I mean, delegates believe that is the time to cash in. So people have taken the back seat, waiting on the parent to take their pawn of the flesh. So there are few constituencies that you could sense tension. That is really the Nsaoma Droji constituency, where there is a clear fashion. The constituency chairman, who happens to be in the camp of the sitting member of parliament, we are told has moved from the MP's parliament, the MP's camp, to the camp of Mr. Hayford Siam. He was heard last 3 days on local radio station, bastardizing the member of parliament and encouraging all the people who voted for him to become the constituency chairman to vote for Mr. Hayford Siam. So in that constituency, you could see a very clear division among the delegates. But MP believe that although he's done a good job, so he will still have the support from the delegates. So it is a mixed feeling. Some places delegates are quiet, other places delegates are openly seen canvassing for one candidate or the other.
Well, thank you so much for that update, Maxwell. Now let's move to the northern region where Martina Buger is there. Martina, if you can hear me, what's the mood and preparation looking like ahead of tomorrow's election?
With preparations, the EC I spoke to said they have received all materials and all is set. The materials were received yesterday, and this morning, Miao, Zabzu, and Yendi will be dispatched, whilst Nantong receives theirs tomorrow morning. And so with the Electoral Commission, they are set for the elections tomorrow. With security, we are told that they are beefing up security in areas perceived to be hotbeds. And so we expect to see more security alert in these constituencies. In the northern region, we have 4 constituencies. That is Miao constituency, Yendi constituency, Zabzu constituency, and Nantong constituency. These are the constituencies that will be holding their elections tomorrow, and we have 8 people who are contesting. In Nantong, we have Kamaldeen Abdullah and Hadi Tuferu. In Yendi, we have Farouk Aliu Mahama and Abibata Shani Mahama Zakaria. In in Miao, we have Ayaba Aziz and Idrisu Musa Superior, and in Zabzu we have Fawaz Aliu and Binam Jos. These are the people contesting in these elections. Now, Zabzu, Yendi, and Nantong have been described as the hot places to watch for in these elections. In Yendi, for instance, in the last election, Farouk, who won and represented the people of Yendi, polled 240, and Abibata, who came second, polled 210. A very close contest between these 2 people. And so it makes it very hot because there's a possibility that it could swing to any side. Because of that, most of their supporters are they've had some few confrontations, but in all, there's hot competition. There's hot contest in this particular constituency. And in Nantong, when they came for the voting, we saw a bit of tension between supporters of the 2 candidates. And we are told that it's on like that in the constituency as well. And so these are 2 places that we would need to focus this election. In Zabzugu, the current MP as contesting somebody from the presidency with Fawaz. People believe that Fawaz is young, he has the resources, he has the backing of power, and so they believe that he has the opportunity to turn things around. But the MP who has gone already has had some few contacts, people still loyal to him, and so it's possible any of them could take it in that constituency. And so that also makes it a hot spot to look at during tomorrow's election.
So have there been any noteworthy alliances or open endorsements so far from the delegates?
The delegates will prefer to be silent. Anyone who comes, they back you, knowing very well the person they are going to vote for because of the opportunities they have to benefit. They are cashing in at this time of the year. So nobody openly says, I am supporting this person. But we have had few people who have openly said, I am going for this person, and nothing will change.
Are there any shocks to look out for then?
I didn't get that question.
Are there any surprises that we should be looking out for?
Well, surprises we would wait to see, but I think that people are looking at Nantong and then Yendi surprises. So that's the opinion of people, but that is not what the electorate. We don't know what the delegates are thinking. So we hope to all that will be clear tomorrow when the contest is over.
All right. Thank you so much, Martina Buger. All right, now let's go to Dr. Steven Amoako, who's the MP for Inshai. So, Dr. Steven, if you can hear me, what are the processes so far for tomorrow's elections?
Thank you very much. My regards to our listeners and viewers this very morning. I think so far, on my part, so good. Everything is well organized. I'm looking forward to winning the election tomorrow with a very large margin. I just try to go around the constituency, and I've really witnessed calmness, and it's like people are eager and anxious to see what will happen. We have three, but particularly what will happen between me and my predecessor, Honorable Kennedy Kankam.
What are you inferring this confidence from, that you're going to win by a large margin? What's inspiring this confidence?
Because of what I've been doing in the constituency, for the people, with the people, and also they know that in terms of my contribution in Parliament, especially this time that most of the experienced parliamentarians are exiting, they need somebody like me to fill in the gap, in addition to others that they need them, so we can keep our fraternity, at pace with the experienced NDC young parliamentarians. So it's all over. The people are saying that it will be very unfortunate to change Dr. Steven Amoako, in spite of having sorry. By the fact that he performed so excellently well on the floor of Parliament and in the constituency as well, that he does a lot of great things for the people. And they know I'm very visible. I've worked so hard in the area of education, security, sanitation, making sure that I help them to get scholarships and other things. So it's all over, and they know what I've been doing for them.
Have there been any last-minute plans that, inspire your confidence, or has it just been based on your merits or the work you've been doing so far? Any last-minute plans that have come to play?
Oh, I really don't get your question well, but
are there any plans or any arrangements that you've done that is also boosting your confidence?
Definitely. Yeah. I'm open up. I've been campaigning for some time now. I've been meeting the delegates. Now I'm on the finance committee, so I've been very busy. I just started my campaign about a month ago, and honestly, it's gone so much well. So today is the day that I'm putting my team together for administrative work, how we're going to collect our results, how we're going to organize ourselves, how we're going to conduct ourselves, citing those who are playing interface roles for me, that it's just something we are doing as family members. We need to put our heads together before, during, and after the election. We are organizing our tally sheets ourselves and other things so that we wouldn't be taken by any surprise. So we are working hard and trying to also, I've been raising funds for a long time, because you also need money for politics. Those who are hearing me this morning, if they cannot contribute to it, but then everything is set for tomorrow, honestly.
So what's your opinion on election integrity on the back of the fear delegates, issue that parliamentary candidates often talk about?
Of course, we are dealing with people. My father once told me something, my late father, may he so rest in peace. He said that, Nanaya, when you are dealing with human beings, it's different from when you are dealing with dogs. If a dog doesn't like you, they can never come to you. Human being can come to you, working with you, but in his or her mind, he's not with you. So you always have to leave margins for surprises. But I can assure you, tomorrow's election, it doesn't matter what it will take. Dr. Steven Amoako is going to carry the day by the grace of God, based on my hard work and the experiences that I've demonstrated, and I've also gained in Parliament, and my contribution to the fraternity NPP for almost 30 years. They know what I've been doing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, let's move to Mr. Fosu Frimpong, who's the Ahafo North MP.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. So, like I was saying, let's move to Mr. Fosu Frimpong. Mr. Fosu Frimpong, if you're on the line, what does tomorrow look like for you?
Tomorrow, by the grace of God, I am going to win and go ahead to become the MP for the people of Ahafo North.
What's inspiring this confidence? What have you done to ensure that you come out victorious tomorrow?
Well, if you come to Ahafo North and you mention Fosu Frimpong or KFS, everybody will tell you of my handiwork. Since we started this campaign, there are so many things that we have done to tell the people of Ahafo North that if they give us the mandate, we can actually do the work.
Like what? Could you just list 2 or 3 of these things?
We organize free vacation classes for every student in Ahafo North, and it was such a huge success. We also did scouting tournament where we scouted for players, for teams here in Ghana and abroad. We also did field training as we speak. This was the 2nd year. We have trained so far more than 1,500 in employable skills, in beef making, pastry, snail farming, mushroom farming, and so on and so forth. And all these things are things that people were craving for. And what we have recently started is something that people have been crying for in Ahafo North. If you come to Ahafo North, the road network, according to the Assembly's record, is 520 kilometers. The record says that since the establishment of this municipality in 1988 by an Act of Parliament, only 49 kilometers of road in the municipality has been tarred. And since some roads have not seen reshaping for the past 20 years, 15 years. What Fosu Frimpong has done in Ahafo North is to tackle road network, reshaping of roads in the municipality. As we speak, we targeted 47 communities. We are still doing it. As of yesterday, we are still doing it. And we have done over 83 communities. And all these places, their roads have been reshaped. It has never happened in the history of Ahafo North that somebody who is not in government, somebody who has the will to serve his people, is using his own money to do such great work. And I believe that the delegates are saying that they want me to be their MP. You come to our towns and villages, everybody is craving for Kwaku Fosu Frimpong to be their MP because they have seen the good work that, by the grace of God, I am doing.
Would you say this is your only advantage over your competitors, your contenders?
Well, I would not say this is my only advantage. What I would say is that there are certain qualities that people look out for, in a member of parliament. And I can confidently tell you that I surpass him in all of those qualities. If you look at somebody who is accessible, who has the people at heart, somebody people can call, somebody people can come to at any point in time for help, for assistance. If you look at somebody who has the will and the ability to go and look for projects and programs to come and help his people, they have seen that in me. Go to Numesia. By the grace of God, we managed to secure one of GFEC network posts in Numesia with the community in Ahafo North. We are currently working on bringing network posts to a lot of other communities. Just 3 days or 4 days ago, we did the same thing for 2 other communities. And all these things are indications that if I become their MP, I can work for their interest.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Frimpong Fosu. Let's move now to Bono East Region, where Anas Sabit is joined us now. Anas Sabit, how are preparations going for tomorrow's elections? Anas,
yes, all is intact. All is intact here as well. The Electoral Commission is prepared to ensure that the elections is conducted in a free and fair manner, except that here in the Bonus region, out of the 11 constituencies, we're going to have only one contest, which will be in the Blue West, constituency. The NPP is currently occupying 3 seats in the region: the Techiman South constituency, the Kintampo South constituency, and then the Blue West constituency. We're going to have no contest in the Techiman South constituency, where the Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Martina Buger, is currently the MP in Techiman South. In the Kintampo South constituency, we have Alexander Jan, who is equally going unopposed. But the Blue West has the current Deputy Rules Minister, in the person of Mr. Steven Jalula, who is the MP for the area. For the first time, he won that seat for the NPP in the 2020 general elections. He's going to be, facing off a stiffer contest with Alhaji Garba Idrisu, who has been a DC for the area under the Eswal Kofo administration between the year 2004 and 2008. So that is the only constituency where you're going to have a contest between the current Deputy Rules Minister, Steven Jalula, and a former DC under Force administration, Alhaji Garba Idrisu. Well, if you look at the terrain, the Blue West constituency, like I said, it was an area the NPP had never won until Steven Jalula came into the limelight. He was, he contested for the seat for the first time in 2016 and then lost. He tried again in 2020 and then won. In 2016, the margin was quite close, about 16 votes difference between himself and the NDC. Let's also not forget that is an area that the NDC has taken as a stronghold. Even in the 2020 elections, when Steven Jalula won that particular contest, the NDC's presidential candidate, the person of John Dramani Mahama, had over 15,000 votes compared to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's a little over 14,000 votes. So it's been an NDC area, but Jalula for the first time won the contest for the NPP in 2020. So this time around, the people of the area, from our checks, they do not want to change the winning team from the checks we've done so far. So Jalula has a brighter chance of winning. But Alhaji Garba Idrisu, coming in, someone who has ever been a DCE, is equally going to give Jalula a run for his money. But we wait to see what is going to be the outcome of the election, hopefully tomorrow.
And as I'll come back to you, right now we have Collins Edumako Mensah online, who is the MP for Ifija-Kwabre North. Mr. Collins Edumako, if you can hear me, what are your plans for tomorrow's elections and how hopeful are you?
Well, good morning and thank you for the opportunity. Yes, I'm very hopeful. I'm very, very confident that the delegates will renew my mandate and give me another opportunity to lead them to the December 7th general elections. Over the past 3 years, I believe very strongly, and in all honesty and all modesty, I believe I've served them well. I call them my employers. And if you check all my social media handles, that is how I refer to my constituents. And I believe that I've been a very good employee, and it is my hope that at the end of the day tomorrow, latest by 3 o'clock, I should be declared the winner.
What have you done so far in Ifija-Kwabre North that you think guarantees you this term to be their parliamentary representative? Well,
it's not about. Anytime I hear journalists ask this question, what have you done for the people? I would have wished that this question went to my constituents and for them to give an account of my stewardship. For me as a person, as I said, in all humility.
Well, if not what you have done, then what just guarantees that your delegates want to vote for you to come into power?
I'm coming to answer your question. I said I hope, I believe that this question could have best been answered by my constituents who have seen what I've done, so they can attest to it. But nonetheless, I could enumerate some of the few things that I've done. I mean, I've been in Parliament for just 3 years, and proud to that, I'm sure you might not have heard of Ifija-Kwabre North before. But fortunately, because of my involvement in communication for the party and my activities on the floor of Parliament, I'm sure it is quite easy for anybody to recognize my constituency now. one of the things that I did was to promote very, very strongly the image of my constituency. And Joy News and Joy FM, I'm a regular panelist in most of your shows. Secondly, education is one of the key things on my agenda. I always tell my people that I'm here as a young 40-year member of parliament because of education. And so anybody who knows me in that constituency knows that I spend about 60% of my common fund on education, from teacher motivation to student motivation. And I'm very proud that since 2009, when the ESS pass rate was 63%, just a few months ago, the latest report shows that we've crossed the 90% mark and we have a pass rate of 93%. It just did not happen. It took efforts of myself in collaboration with the district chief executive and the district director of education to bring it this far. In terms of infrastructure, if you come to my constituency, I have two major problems. One is roads infrastructure and then educational infrastructure. In my constituency, prior to the 2020 election, fortunately, we managed to have the initial road from Mahinkro to Tetrere graded and developed. It is not in the best of shape, but at least what it used to be previously is not as it is now. It is a vast improvement in that particular area. In terms of educational infrastructure, I've managed to get 2 or 3 get fund projects into the constituency. One has already been completed and I've commissioned same, and the other is under construction. In terms of my relationship with my constituents, I believe they will be in the best position to tell. I'm always around, very, very affable, very, very open, and listen to their plights, and I do my best to attend to them. So I know that the delegates know what I've been able to do over this past short 3-year period, and I believe very strongly that tomorrow they are going to renew my mandate.
All right, thank you so much, Collins Adoo Mako, who's the MP for Ifija-Kwabre North. Now, back to Anas, but if you just join us, what we are doing is speaking to both regional correspondents and aspiring parliamentary candidates on the New Patriotic Party tickets, because tomorrow they go to the polls to select their parliamentary candidates for the December 2024 elections. And as you were telling me that with just 3 seats and 1 contest, then how is the mood among the delegates then for tomorrow, if you've seen any of them?
Yes, so like I was saying, because we have no contest in Techiman South and Kintampo South, it's going to be popular acclamation. But in Crew West constituency, where we're going to have a contest, the delegates we've been engaging, most of them I have directly spoken to, seem to be throwing their weight behind the current MP who doubles as the Deputy Rules Minister. Like I'm saying,
It appears we have some network challenges with Anas's connection. But now let's move to the Volta region, where Fred Kwame Asari is our correspondent. Fred, if you can hear me, how are preparations faring for tomorrow's parliamentary primaries in the Volta region? Fred, if... All right. This is the big stories. The biggest stories this weekend, as we said, is that the ruling New Patriotic Party goes to the polls tomorrow to select their parliamentary candidate.
So
it appears Anas is back online. Anas?
The kind of work Steven Amoako has been able to do, he deserves to be given the second chance to go back to Parliament, hopefully in 2024. So that is what we are picking from the delegates here in the region. And we believe that from what we've gathered, the contest in the Pro East region wouldn't be that tough for the current MP, Steven Amoako.
Thank you so much, Anas. Fred Kwame Asari, if you can hear me, how are preparations faring for tomorrow's elections? So Fred Kwame Asari is our Volta regional correspondent. Fred, if you can hear me, how are preparations faring for tomorrow's parliamentary primaries in the Volta region?
So Fred Kwame Asari is our Volta regional correspondent.
Hello, Fred.
Yeah, hello, I can hear you.
Okay.
Here in the Volta region, preparations are ongoing. There will be elections in two constituencies. That is the Akachi North and then the Ketu North constituencies. The NPP has only one seat here in the Volta region. That is the Hohwe seat, which Honorable John Peter Amewu won in 2020. The NPP is imposing their confidence in him to retain the seat in 2024. Hence, nobody is contesting him. He would be acclamated tomorrow while the primaries are ongoing. So in the Hohwe constituency, there won't be any primary or elections. John Peter Amewu will be acclamated to represent the party in the 2024 parliamentary primaries in Hohwe. However, there are two strategic constituencies that the NPP is hoping to win the parliamentary seats. That is the Akachi North and then the Ketu North constituency. These constituencies, elections were not held in the past. It is now going to be done tomorrow. In the Ketu North constituency, we have Enoch Amegleto, who contested the regional secretary positions in 2019, and then he contested twice. Let me just say he contested twice and then lost the seat. But then he also served as the regional communications officer, so he's a bit familiar with electorate in the Ketu North constituency. He is contested by Baron Kwekuche Beli, also in the Ketu North. So these two aspirants will be contesting for the slot to represent the NPP in the parliamentary elections in 2024. They would be contesting the NDC's Adum Agbana. You remember what transpired or happened during the NDC primaries, where Adum Agbana was later declared winner, and then there were some controversies with regard to the results, where there was one ballot and one unstamped ballot, which brought forth some controversy, and then also some delegates got angry and were not happy with the decision by the party, the NDC hierarchy, where Adum Agbana was declared the winner. And then there were some press conferences where people registered their displeasure and mentioned that they would split away from the party if the error is not corrected. So the NPP is hoping to elect a strong candidate in Ketu North to represent the party and then eventually win the seat. The incumbent MP, which is Honorable Aveji, is no more contesting. So this gives a level playing field to both the NDC and then the NPP to contest and then win the seat. But however, the seat has traditionally been for the NDC. So the NPP is hoping to make some inroads in there and then win the seat. Also in the Akachi North, we have Prosper Kofi Patu contesting the DC, who is Simon Peter Kofi Owusu. The NDC won the seat in 2020 with just a little over 5,000 votes. This seat, or this constituency, the Akachi North constituency, is one of the constituencies the NPP is targeting to win. So they are hoping to elect a strong candidate. The DCE contested in 2020 and then lost the seat by 5,000 votes to Peter Nochukotwe. So he's hoping that the electorate or the delegates will elect him once again, since he's already familiar with the people and then has made some inroads, serving as DCE. He's hoping that the delegates will elect him and then eventually he'll win the seat for the NPP. So in the Volta region, there will be acclamation of John Peter Amewu to represent the party in the 2024 elections in Hohwe. And then in the Akachi North and Akachi North and Ketu North, there will be elections to elect a parliamentary candidate for the NPP heading into December 2024 general elections.
Well, Fred, have there been any last-minute developments that are worth noting in the camp of the NPP specifically? Have there been any developments? Have there been any recent developments that would impact tomorrow's elections?
Well, the only thing I am made to know is that later in the day, election materials will be dispatched to these two constituencies, that is the Akachi North and then the Kettle North constituencies for the elections to be held, for the elections to be organized tomorrow. Be it as it may, regional executives are key in these two areas and hoping that the best candidate is elected to represent the party in the 2024 general elections and then eventually win these two seats. Also, the Adaklu seat is one of the seats the NPP is targeting and hoping that they would win it over from the NDC. So these are the current situations on the ground in the Volta region.
Thank you so much, Fred Kwame Asari, who is our Volta regional correspondent. So we've spoken to a number of correspondents and parliamentary candidates, hopefuls. We spoke to Haruna Mohammed, Nanaya Abuache from the Ashanti region, Rafik Salam from the Upper West region. We also spoke to Maxwell Kudu from the Eastern region. And then we spoke to Martina Buger from the Northern region. And from all indications, preparations are underway, and in some places, everything is set for tomorrow's elections. This is the AM show with me, Sweetie Abochi. We'll take a break, and when we continue, when we return, the show continues. Don't go away.